Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening from Shalom Acres. It's actually morning time here. We just came back from a week-long festival celebrating the fall feast of Sukkot. And we knew before we left that the garden was getting a little hairy. We'll show some clips of that, but we felt that there wasn't going to be a frost, so we felt safe to go ahead and keep things going. I've had several people ask us how we're raising sweet potatoes this year. And I told them that we were doing it a little bit different than what we've done in the past. Typically in the past, we've just had a nice flat spot, covered it with a bunch of hay, mulch, compost, and then put some wood chips on the top. This year we decided we wanted to keep it a little more confined. And yes, I say a little bit more confined because when you look at some of the video footage behind me, you'll see that it's not that confined. But what we're seeing is the confinement of the potatoes. So typically on sweet potatoes, they're gonna run out in one area, and then they're over here, you're gonna find another one. Over here, you'll find another one if you plant it just on the ground. So what we chose to do this year was, we put them up on trellises. These are just cattle panels. Probably seen a lot of other people using them. We've used them in the past for other things. But what I find out for the cattle panels, you really need something heavy like this for sweet potatoes because the vines just get so heavy. So in a minute here, we're gonna go take some footage and go show what we're harvesting, and we'll show you how the potatoes themselves are grouping up more versus being able to single out. And don't get me wrong, when you did plant them in the past where they were spread out, they did group up. But the problem is they also spread out a further distance and you had all these other little small pockets. So what we're trying to do right now is just confine them to a smaller area, but yet give them plenty of foliage to grow. And you can even see some of our snake gourds have gotten over in here. But this will give the opportunity for you to see what we're seeing when we harvest, how they're actually not only grouped together in the main area where they're growing, the plant started, but then how they just kind of spread out down the road. So let's come on over and look at that. Okay, so what we've been doing right now is we're just taking a simple pair of hedge trimmers, and we're taking the hedge trimmers and just cutting the sweet potatoes off the panel. We're doing that for two reasons. I wouldn't mind just keeping the sweet potatoes in there for kind of a winter ground cover and then letting it break down and go over. But right now we've got sheep that are lambing. We've also got cows that just either gave birth or they're getting ready to give birth. So we feel like the extra nutrients from the plants should be given to our animals versus just letting it go back in the ground. We've got other manures and other things that we can put in there to make that happen. So here's what we'll look down here and see now. So this is our first plant. We haven't even gotten to the other side, which you can see if you look over here on the other side. Look at these. This is all from the same plant. There's another sweet potato back in there. There's another one there. So what I really want to show you is we've only harvested on one side, this little spot right here. And you can see we've already gotten, probably half a milk crate. And when you come down this area, and you can start seeing it, how well it's mounded up. You know where to dig. It's so easy because you can start seeing the plants. Oh, look at them. So all these potatoes are just right underneath that one plant. And then again, you can see the potatoes over there. You can see the potatoes here. One thing I just want you to understand, and we'll talk about this at the end, but we've only planted 16 plants in a 16 by 16 area. We've already shown the amount of harvest that looks like it's going to be available. But remember, this is a first year garden. We've never gardened here before. So we'll talk about some of the things we've done, and we'll also give an update at the end on how many milk crates we've gotten off of 16 plants. So look forward to hearing from you and seeing from you here in a minute. Thanks. Bye. Okay, so we just finished harvesting 16 plants in a 16 by 16 area, set up with first year garden. The only thing we did was put in a small amount of horse manure first. Then we put down a layer of hay, covered it in wood chips, put up the cattle panels, put in 16 plants and let them grow. And we harvested back almost 8 milk crates. Each milk crate weighs about 40 pounds, so right at 300 pounds of sweet potatoes, and truly probably one of the easiest plants to grow. Those of you out there are questioning, hey, the size of some of these, wondering how well they're gonna taste. This is a variety that we've grown here, I think on the homestead now for 6 years. Never had one ever stringy. So the only other last thing I want to say to everybody is there's some big change that we're going to actually make here on the homestead. It's going to be my next video that I come up with, and I just want to ask the question to folks. If you had the opportunity to change where you live and change your homestead, would you do it? That's the question. And soon I'll have a video on that. Thanks for watching. Shalom.